Hello.
I'm your host, Adam,
And I'm your co-host, Kadin.
and welcome back to Unfiltered and Rediscovered, Ep.9.
Hail you.
Hell yeah. We are recording and uploading a little bit late. Apologies. Sunday was just kind of rough, truthfully. I worked 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Kadin had a really good meeting with his sponsor, so he was just emotionally wiped. And we were like, hey, we'll save it for Monday. And then the time just didn't work yesterday.
And then shit happened.
And life happened. But here we are. We keep rolling. We keep moving off of 11-hour shift. Yeah, get that bag. But today we wanted to talk about kind of the differences that we see in our relationships when we were shitty people versus our relationships now.
Fair enough. I would like to say in addiction and before, finding a path and after.
It's probably
but we'll go with
a much better
we'll
way.
Go with shitty people.
I don't think we
and
should
not
go with shitty people.
Okay, well then we'll roll with the other one.
Yeah, we'll go with before finding a path and before addiction, and then finding some kind of light in that tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to open it up and just kind of get like a summary of what you felt like your relationships were before your recovery happened.
So I was talking to a guy about this last night at a meeting, and
Just a guy.
And I don't want to go too in depth with it because I don't know about your questions, but before, all of my relationships were superficial in one way or another. Even the ones that I held closest to me and in highest regard, when I really needed something, there was always something I had to do to get it done, whether it be a ride or some gas money or whatever. And the gas money, certain people were really good with. Like, I would pay them back and I'd tell them thank you, and that was good. But it was always, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what are you going to do for me? Or if somebody did something for you, whether it be, give you $5 when you don't got $5, or, give you a ride somewhere when you don't have gas in your truck, or whatever it may be. It was like, okay, so what's the catch? Like, now I'm on the hook for a favor. What's that favor going to be?
How many of those times were in your head versus something that they said? And like, I guess the idea that these relationships.
It was more, I guess it might have been in my head. I like to think it wasn't, because a lot of the time it was proven time and time again. Whether it be like, hey, I go to a party, right? I'm hungry. I'm not gonna eat in front of everyone. Like, just get food for myself. So it'd be like, hey, do we want to order something? And we would take this order, and rarely would I get any money pitched. And then the thing that really bothered me was when it came time to pick the order up, I often went alone because everyone else was, too fucked up, or or just didn't want to go, or, oh, I'll just chill here. And it's like, okay, so I'm paying for this, I'm feeding you, I'm going and picking it up alone.
Yeah.
And like, then it wasn't even really a thank you. And do I need a thank you all the time? No. But one every once in a while is nice. So I think, and another reason why I went on that side of it is like, okay, let's say that I need help moving, or like I need something done. And moving in general, there's generally something, like, even when you're today, it's like, okay, are they, some pizza, or like whatever would be nice, And so it was always, or like, hey, I'm going to get, for a lot of the times it was like, hey, I'll give you weed for this.
That's what I was thinking.
Or I'll give you...
Smoke you out.
Dude, that was so easy. Hey, I need something done. I'll smoke you out if you do it.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so you always had to have a carrot on the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily the case today as much. So
hell yeah, nor is that how it should be. When you said there wasn't a thank you, it made me think about the dude that used to live here. And I mean, we both showed each other on multiple occasions, like, shit hits the fan, you need me there, I'll be there. But I started to notice a pattern towards the end, that there was never a thank you, right? Like, I think I told you, we barely talked, and I was like, hey, this entertainment center is taking up space, do you want it? And he said yeah. Or he didn't, well, he did say yeah. And then his next text to me was, can you take me to the bike store? And I was like, dude, we don't have the relationship where I want to sit in a car with you for like 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably would have done it if you had given me a thank you. If you just been like, hey, thanks. I didn't need this, but I love it. I'll take it. You know? I think, yeah, that's just stood out.
And even then, also, like, the thing that pops into my head is, like, when you're working on, you know, something for somebody else just to be nice, right? Like, for me, like, something that popped into my head was, like, working on a car. And then, you know, you get it done and you're putting time and money into it. And
thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there. I was really trying to beat around. That's exactly what I was thinking, though. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Absolutely. What about emotionally? How would you describe those relationships?
Empty. You know, the feeling of being in a room full of people and feeling completely alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize it at first. At first, it was just a good time.
You got all the weed and alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. I was
that.
getting fucked up with them, you know? And then slowly but surely, the thing that really, like, kind of showed it to me is, like, on birthdays, I was supplying everything for my own birthday. And, like, taking orders.
Yep.
What people wanted.
If you ever want a party trick, don't supply the booze. Don't get beer. Don't get liquor. Weed, sure. I'll supply the weed. Not that I smoke enough to, like, supply weed at a party. But if you want liquor, you're bringing your own. I'm drinking from my shelf. You can drink from yours. I'm not spending $150 for a party and having a good time and then ending up with 5 empty bottles. Well, exactly. $150 is going to get you like 3 bottles. But
you want some good shit, yeah. If you're going cheap, which we often didn't do.
We didn't, but I got that sipping whiskey taste now.
This crazy
we like
fuck.
That expensive shit.
Crazy fuck.
Hey, bro, I've worked towards it.
So, no, and then, like, another thing that popped in my head when we were talking about emotions and, like, going to a party. You know what my number one thing was when I was going to a party? Even if I knew people, if I didn't know people, especially, dude, I would go pick up an eighth, a quarter, whatever it might be, and I would have no intention in bringing any of that home.
Mm.
And I would just go smoke everyone out. And then, you know what the best thing to be at a party is? The guy with the weed. Everybody likes the guy with the weed. You'll meet so many people. You'll have so many conversations. And by the end of the night, you don't know their names. They hang out until it's gone, and then oftentimes they go to a different room or they leave or, oh, hey, look at the time.
That friend group that we were talking about right before we started this podcast, there's that same dude that we talked about and then one of their other friends. That's kind of their dynamic. Is like they got all these girls around them, they get all these dudes around them, supplying the drink, they're supplying the weed. You know what I mean? On that note, we're gonna jump into the next question. How would you describe your relationships today?
Bro, fantastic. And I was hoping you'd ask something like this because now I can touch on last night. I was talking to him and I was like, dude, when I came in to the rooms, there was nothing but genuine people. For the most part. There's obviously some that are, that's going to be everywhere, though. The ratio, though, 90-10, 80-20, 95-5, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty damn high on good than bad. And now, if I need something, all I got to do is ask.
You got a fucking network.
And they'll come help me. And sometimes I don't even have to ask. Like, dude.
About $50.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Like, the times money's just appeared, and I don't know who or when or what. Like, shoes. Somebody gave me 2 pairs of shoes the other day. They're like nice shoes. I mean, they're older, but they're like brand new. He barely wore them. But he gave me these shoes. And I was like, hey, you know, I really appreciate this. Homie said, oh, I'll get them to you like soon. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, like whenever is good. I appreciate it. He got them to me like 2 days later. And then I texted him and I said, hey, you know, I wore them today. They're really nice. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make sure to get you some money when I start working again. And he said, dude, absolutely fucking not. I'm just glad somebody's wearing them. And I'm glad you like them. And thank you. And I was like, dude, like, when would that have ever happened? And if it did happen, it's like, okay, what do they want? And like today, like my relationships, I've got people showing up for me at things they're not a part of to help out.
And bringing people.
And bringing homies. And like, there's so many things, and it's not even just the money, the gifts, the whatever. It's just the emotional support.
The presence.
Exactly. And I'm enjoyed. Like, people tell me they enjoy my presence. And, you know, last week was my birthday. And so a lot of, you know, praise was thrown my way, which is hard to take, but it's good. Friday night, people were talking. They're like, you know, Kadin was really a big part of...
Name drop.
Kadin is myself. I thought about that though. Fuck you. As soon as I said it, I was like, wait, did I just name drop? And then I was like, oh no, that's me. I'm good. Anyway, they're like, Kadin is, you know, a really big reason on why I stuck around, and he really made me feel welcome and stuff. And they talked about the hugs. They're like, oh, he's got that big 2-armed hug out anytime I saw him for the first little bit, and still does. And people started laughing. And then somebody else shared, and they're like, yeah, I think it's funny that when they brought that up, looking around the room, you see everyone smiling and nodding because they know exactly what it is. And it's like, dude, I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to have a place where I belong. Like, I was hanging out at the club before this, and I had a conversation with a dude. I can't remember his name, and he knows my name, and I don't like that. We sat and talked for like 30, 45 minutes just about the program stuff. And like, dude, it was really, really good. And he was giving me knowledge and insight and stuff like that. And I was talking about my stuff, and it was just really cool. And so the relationships now are, no matter what, I know I can call someone. Like, this isn't a flex, this isn't a brag. It's something that I encourage if anyone is looking at getting into any sort of 12-step program, is getting numbers. It was like a month ago, 2 months ago now, I counted how many AA contacts I have in my phone. Dude, it's like 60.
God damn, that's more people than I have in my phone.
Yeah. And I know that I can call any one of those people, pretty much. There's a few that I've gone back.
I was about to say.
I can call pretty much any one of those people, and they'll answer. And they'll, hey, what's up? How you doing? Da, 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 da. And it's super, super cool. So I just feel like I belong.
That's awesome.
And I'm loved and I'm appreciated. And when I show up, I know that I'll get something out of it. They'll get something out of it. And I don't have to ever feel awkward. And that's anywhere. That's the coolest thing about it, is I can go anywhere in the world and walk into a room and have a room full of friends like that. For the most part. There's certain places that are a little standoffish. Georgia was kind of hard to get used to. But by the time I left, I had 3 or 4 people that I'd sit and smoke with before the meeting and stuff, and it was cool. But
not weed.
Yeah, no, not weed.
For clarification.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're just blazing outside the meeting. It's all good.
I mean, technically, it's not addiction recovery.
No way, Jose. Fuck that.
All right, and this next question I got for you, I think, is gonna be a little bit of a thinker.
Mm.
But there's no easy outs on this one. What similarities do you see in your old relationships versus your
Ooh.
relationships now?
Me, my shortcomings, my how do I say this? My lack of confidence, my need for approval, my tiptoeing, beating around the bush. Like we had that conversation. I think we talked about it last week, but asking where you were, and I knew exactly where you were. That's the similarity, is myself. And
Do you think you could have labeled them as cleanly still stuck in your old relationships?
no, I would have never seen that. Dude, I'm looking at myself. No, it would have been this person did this person did that, fuck that guy, fuck this person. That's what it would have been. So no, it's myself. And it's something that I'm really working on. And we had the guy I was just talking to, we talked about, he was like, you know what? I truly believe this. And he's like, you know, you're a masterpiece. Everyone in this room is a masterpiece. Nobody's a fuck up. Nobody's a disappointment. Everyone's a masterpiece. Like, do you truly see that? Because he looked at me and he's like, Kadin, you're a masterpiece. And for a second, I kind of was like, but no, like today, dude, am I all the way there with the self-love and the confidence and all that? No. Am I making progress? Absolutely. Like, I feel compassion for myself every once in a while. And like when he was saying that, I was like, no, I am. Like 100%. When I came in, I felt like a piece of shit. And I felt like I let a lot of people down. And my relationships weren't as good. And stuff like that. And today, I'm still the same person. I'm a adapted version. I'm an evolved version. I'm not done evolving, but I've evolved. And I just think, like, me being able to say that, like, and this is kind of a tangent, and I'm rambling and da-da-da. None of this is really exactly on point. I don't really care though, because it means something to me. Me to be able to say that means a fucking lot. Like me being able to say, I even sat down with him today. I barely know this guy. And I was like, no, dude, that was me. Like, I'm a goofball. I'm a goofy bastard. Because, and we talked about it before, nobody's threatened by a goofy bastard. I led with that hard. Because then people would be like, he's not a threat. They lower their guard. And then they get to know me and they're like, hey, he's pretty fun. He's pretty cool.
Why do you feel like you need to, I don't necessarily want to say present as a goofy bastard, because I know you enjoy being a goofy bastard, but why do you feel like you need to be a goofy bastard in order for them to get their guard down?
Because I don't have any confidence. I don't know how to do it any other way. I'm not comfortable in my own skin. So if I come in and I don't really say much and I'm sitting down and I'm just kind of, chin up. What if nobody talks to me? What if nobody looks at me? Now, if I walk in the door and I'm, hello, and how you doing? And howdy how, and, big, loud, not necessarily loud in a bad way, but like big, loud, proud, all that. People are like, this guy's got something to him. I don't want to talk to him. Then, joking around with other people, making jokes and shit, being self-deprecating. Like, it gets people to be like, kind of funny. So now, where I'm going with all this is I try and do that less. Is it any less than normal? Maybe, maybe not. It's still there a lot. But I've identified it, which I feel like is the first thing. And today I know that all those things I want to be I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can start to lead with that versus bringing myself down to then go back up once I get in the door.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, there's definitely a balance to be had there, right? Like, I think it's good, a practice of maybe not doing it less, but just taking moments of, okay, I'm not going to walk in and bring eyes to me. I'm just going to walk in and sit down. Because I'm curious if that will invite some comfortability into your own skin as you just kind of sit down, you're just kind of there, and prove to yourself that this interaction ended well. You know, even though I didn't come in being this goofy fuck, this interaction, I still took something from it. It still ended well. You know what I mean? And on the flip side of it is I don't have it as much anymore as I used to, but one of the fucking free passes in life is being charismatic. Not free passes, but one of the keys to life is being charismatic. If you can walk into a room and 90% of people like you almost off the bat, you're fucking ahead. Another thought that I had is when you said that you are an adapted and evolved version of yourself. I really liked hearing that because you've said a couple times before Kadin 2.0. And I understand the sentiment, but I disagree. Because you look at, we'll go like a robot or a phone, a 2.0 is something completely new. Your old product is cast to the side. Your old you is still part of you. For better or for worse, it will always be there, right? And so I really like that adapted and evolved version.
That's funny that you say that because I almost said Kadin 2.0.
I was kind of surprised when you didn't.
I changed it mid-rep, and felt nice. When you were saying that other version of myself is always with me, we don't have to dive on a rabbit hole on this. We could make an episode about it if we wanted to.
Be about it.
It's the character defects. The character defects will always be with me. My character defects, and those are, the avoidant, the angry, the selfish, the self-centered, the controlling, all those things. Those are my character defects.
Okay.
And
is that something connected to the program labeling those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So the 7th step is relieving yourself of your character defects. You do 4, you do 5, and 5 is making your amends list and acknowledging your character defects for the most part. People do it differently. That's how I like to think of it, and that's how I like to, in the future, do it. So you make that, and then 6 is becoming ready to have these defects removed or some shit like that. I forget 6. 6 is an oddball one. And 7 is you say the 7th step prayer and you have your defects of character removed. And they don't really get removed. They get relieved. But it's something you work on all the time.
Okay.
And so the character defects will rise up. So in the moments where I'm road raging or I'm, impatient at the grocery store, whatever, those are my character defects. Or I don't have a job and I'm not applying for a fucking job. That's a major character defect. The avoidance, not doing my step work, not cleaning, that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's that.
Well, speaking of character defects is a great connector right there. And I think it's really fascinating that you said the similarities to your past and similar relationship or past and present relationships is yourself and those character defects. So on the flip side of that coin, what steps did you take to have the relationships you have today?
What steps did I take to have the relationships today?
And I guess instead of it being a separate, kind of piggybacking off of that, how are you responsible for those relationships?
Okay, so we're going to take one at a time just because my brain is hurting. But
go for it.
So the steps I took to have the relationships today, I admitted I had a problem. And that I was powerless over my problem. I know I think I just heard you sigh a little bit. I know
that was unrelated. We do have kind of differing opinions on that, but that was unrelated.
Okay. So but for me, it's powerlessness. So I'm powerless over those addictions. I'm also powerless over people, places.
Absolutely true.
And so what changed was I came in, and specifically to the rooms, because honestly, I don't know if it would have happened if it hadn't been for the rooms. That's just me being honest. It maybe would have. It probably would have taken a fucking minute.
Probably would have taken a while, but I think it would have happened.
So it would have taken a minute. And even after the hospital and everything, dude, like I was good. Like I was better than I was, and I was healthier. I think that maybe would have lasted 6 months to a year without the rooms. Maybe. Because once I came home, I would have gone right back to the same shit. And then the circle would have just kept going. And so...
You do take a little bit to learn your lessons.
Absolutely. And so going into the rooms, saying this lightly, because once you say it, you lose it, humbled myself, like, hey, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then what happened was I realized that people would love me until I could love myself. So I leaned into that. And if I had, easiest thing, when I first came back to Utah after treatment, I went to a meeting where we go quite a bit. And somebody was outside with some guys smoking, and he had Packers stuff on.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Instant in. So I just went up, and they're like, hey, are you here for the meeting? I was like, oh, yeah, where is it? I'm like, oh, it's here. We're just waiting to get it unlocked. And started giving him shit about his football team. So, like, steps I took was just admitting powerlessness, coming in, sitting down, sticking around, and then letting them work me over, like, and letting them indoctrinate me in the best way possible. It's how I like to say it. Indoctrinate me, and then me putting in some footwork, and trusting in the process. So, like, really, I didn't do much other than the admitting powerlessness and stuff. It was a lot of support and guidance from others.
Okay. What do people in the room say to someone who doesn't put the work in? Who goes back out on the bottle?
Let me know when you're ready. Give me a call when you're willing.
And has someone had to sit down and say that to you?
No. Okay, hold on. Let me think now, because that look makes me think. Somebody hasn't had to say that exactly, but they let me know I'm coming pretty fucking close to needing to say it.
Yeah, that's not what that look was for. What that look was for
okay, my bad.
is the people not putting in the work, the people not doing what they need to do are the ones that get told, fucking come back when you're ready to be sober. Like, little homies, I can't even say that. I don't know how to connect these dots. Anyway.
I know where you're going. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Okay. But
little homies person.
I don't know where you're going. We'll just leave it, and I'll tell you after. But there was this dude that Mallory knows that, as far as she aware, relapsed. And
okay, never mind. We were going different directions.
My really one response to her was, I guess he wasn't ready yet. Because, I mean, what else are you gonna say?
You're learning, young Padawan.
Exactly, and that's what I thought of. I thought of all the conversations we had. But, dude, these past 20 months, something like that. You're not quite 2 years.
9.
9. We're going off 9.
Even when I quit drinking, dude, like, I was still fucking smoking. I wasn't.
Okay, that's true. Much. But it's not just been a fucking breeze. You haven't just laid back and let it happen. You've worked and you've grinded to be in that position. Like, it's not.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So I guess thinking off of that, I kept showing up. I kept coming back. And even when I didn't know really anybody, I kept coming. And dude, like I told you before, my first ever meeting, there was like 120 people there, and my dumbass decided to share with a room full of people I've never met. I don't know
Very
anybody.
accurate.
And I can't even really remember what I said, but what I said basically was, I'm tired of spending my money on stupid shit and I want a new life. Pretty much what I said.
And then In and Out calls, and here we are.
In and Out calls?
In and Out, fucking, what's that place just right down there? Apollo.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. All right. That's not the stupid shit I was talking about. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, no. It's still kind of there. Character defects, my friend. Anyway. So, but yeah, no. So I kept coming back and willing to do whatever it took. It says in one of our readings how it works. I want to fuck this up. Says when you're willing to do whatever it takes, you are ready to take certain steps. You have become ready to take certain steps. So basically, when you're willing to do whatever the fuck you have to do to get sober or whatever, you're ready to take certain steps. And I was willing to do whatever it took.
Hell yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's kind of that. Like kept coming back and all that, and those were the steps I took to build these friendships now. And then reaching out. When I would go, I didn't just sit in the back and not say anything. Mm-hmm. Somebody talked to me, I'd have a conversation. I shared more often than not, and it always came from the heart. And it was honest, and it was open, and it was raw. And that's something a couple people said last night at a meeting. They were like, whenever you share, it always comes from your heart. I really appreciate that. Anytime I've heard you speak, it's always from your heart. And lots, not like stroking. Lots of people have said that. It makes me feel good. So when you do that, it sparks conversation after. Because if you're going through some shit and you're fucking blah, 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 not even really yelling, but you're popping off or whatever, come up to you after the meeting and be like, yo, brother, you good? Like, you need to chill out, or like, keep coming back, you're sick, or like whatever. So it sparks conversation. So showing up and not being afraid to reach out, and that, I'll stop rambling.
I got a little bit of a side question before we get to the doozy. As we always wrap up with, don't even pretend to look surprised. But
that's how we like to do it.
Oh yeah. You said that, I don't remember the exact wording, but you said that you learned that people could love you until you learn to love yourself.
Let us love you.
You love yourself?
You can love yourself. That was something we talked about earlier too at the club just now. Pretty damn close. Things are going pretty good right now. And I'm pretty damn close. Something that
name drop
said on Sunday. Ooh, name drop. Something
name
my
drop.
Sponsor said on Sunday. We were talking about prayer and stuff. I was like, dude, I didn't even pray on my birthday.
Real quick, I'm so sorry to interrupt during this. What if when we bleep names, we just do name drop?
I'm down with that.
All right, continue.
Okay. So he was talking to me, and we were talking about prayer. I was like, dude, I didn't even pray on my birthday. And he was like, really? And I was like, well, yeah, like I thought about it, and I told myself I should, and I thought of a couple things, you know, oh, I'm super grateful, and da-da-da. He goes, and you didn't pray? No. And he was like, well, that sounds to me like you prayed. And I was like, hold on. And he was like, I was like, yeah, but it wasn't, I didn't hit my knees. I wasn't leaning on my bed. I wasn't up in my room. You know, I didn't hit my knees. I didn't pray. And he said, well, did you think about it? And I said, yes. And he said, did you say things in your head? Yes. He said, did you mean them? And I said, yes. He's like, well, dude, sounds like you fucking prayed. Like, it's not always hitting your knee, all that. And I couldn't deny it. Did I feel like it was 100% right? No, because I like to do it this way. But I couldn't deny it. And it made me feel a lot of, like, just a big deep breath. Because prayer's been really hard the last few months. Thought about it, though. And there's a quote out of the 12 and 12. And it says, at certain times, every person will find it hard to pray. They just don't want to. And then you'd think it would say something like, well, you have to fucking pray. You know it's the thing. Da, 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 da. And what it says is, don't be too hard on yourself in those moments. It'll come when it's time. You'll get back to it when it's time.
Absolutely.
So like, dude, praying in my head, like all that. And now to tie all that into loving myself, dude, love and tolerance right there. Like patience and tolerance. Like that just showed so much. And I really, really, really do love myself today. And I can start to kind of say that.
Oh yeah. Well, just on that, just a quick side thought. The purpose of the hitting your knees, folding your arms, this and that, in my head, is a way to channel. It's a way to send your focus. But at the end of the day, praying is about talking to God, whatever that may look like.
Mm-hmm.
However that works for you. You could write your prayer down. You could write it in a journal. You could think it in your head, whatever you got to do to put that prayer down, to talk to God, to let God know that it is more than a fleeting thought. Right?
Exactly. Dude, I swear to fucking God. And this is something that I kind of like about the program. I swear to fucking God, God is always working in my life. You know why I know this? Tell me why you said that. When the homie at the club I was talking to me about prayer work, I didn't even say anything about prayer. He has notebooks. Prayers, because when he first started to pray, it was really hard for him. So he would write it down, and it would channel, and it made him slow down and think. And then you talk about fucking writing prayers down. Like, dude, that happens so often. I was talking Saturday night. I was all pissed off about resentments, right? You know what the topic of the meeting was Sunday morning? Resentments. Like, it happens all the time.
This is what you need to hear.
And so it's so funny. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so our last question for the day is, what do you feel like is missing within yourself to unlock whatever the next level of your relationships is?
Confidence. 100%. I was talking about, I've identified things that I do because the confidence is lacking. The next step is working on that. But confidence because once I have confidence, and it's something I've realized too, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my sponsor, almost name dropped again, talking to my sponsor, and I was talking about a resentment I had early on. And they told me to do the freedom of bondage thing out of the book, and you pray for them for, no, dude, it's like that. Anyway, it's not like that. Sorry.
I was like, I got some rope sitting right there if you really want to get down to it.
Intriguing. But no, so what it is it's a chapter in the book, and in the very back of it says, if you have a resentment, pray for them. And then
I remember you doing that with some dude.
it doesn't, even if you don't believe the words you are saying, say them anyways. Say it for 14 to 21 days. And it worked. So,
You know what's crazy?
What?
That's how I got my confidence. Exact same thing. Looking in the mirror, saying I'm confident.
Exactly. So I was going a different direction, but I will try that. Anyway, so I did that and it worked. Still pray for that dude even today.
Really?
Yeah, every time I pray at night, I pray for him because it worked and I don't want it to stop working. And I was talking to my sponsor about it, and I realized it was all. I thought it was jealousy at first because he had a lot of things that I wanted. It was his confidence. He had a confidence that I had never seen before. And he had things as well. And they're probably tied. And so I was mad at him because he was confident and I'm not. And so just like seeing that, like all these things, they're starting to tell me that I can too have confidence. And in time I will. And, you know, you can think of all the little shit, you know, living at mom and dad's, driving the van I drive.
I'm going to stop that thought process right there. In what things in yourself are you confident about?
I was going to say none of that shit matters. So anyway.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't. Like, it's all superficial bullshit. You can have everything in the world and you can still be miserable.
My boss is an example of that.
So
he has a couple, maybe $10,000, $20,000 pool. He never uses it. It's just there.
Exactly. Now, what things am I confident about myself? Dude, service. I am so confident in service. I will always be a part of it. And I love doing it. And I can't wait till I can do more of it. Eventually, you know, positions at the club and stuff like that. I want that. Confidence in kindness and people skills. I don't know why. And even the dude I go to the gym with will talk to me about that. He's like, dude, you're the most like charismatic dude in the world. Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you not feel this way? And then he says something else too. Never mind. So he's like, why don't you feel this way? And so kindness, confidence, like kindness. I almost just said I was confident. Jesus. Kindness, charismatic.
It's a good way to start.
All those things I'm super confident in. You know, my heart. And I'm starting to feel it in the way, like, I walk. Like, the gym, dude, like, yeah, I still got everything we talk about, right? But, like, dude, I'm starting to get a chest. I'm starting to get arms. Like, I'm starting to see muscle on myself.
Hell yeah.
And, like, it's easier for me to stick my chest out today, and I've never done that. And so, like, all that, once again, that's kind of superficial, but it means something to me. So if it means something to me, is it superficial? So yeah, just all those things. And I really feel like we're on the cusp.
Well, on that note, I think I would very strongly urge you, anytime that you are feeling unconfident or you are feeling not enough, write down not just those charismatic this, that. Write down instances where you have been confident. Because all of that negative energy, all of that negative emotion, that emotional potential is still there. You got this much emotion going on. You switch that to confidence and positivity, you're going to be sitting on this much fucking confidence and positivity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want to forget. Remind me to talk to you about something about that after, because I don't want to talk about it on here.
Haha, losers.
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't want to be stroking my ego or putting stuff out there like I'm doing this or that, so I'm not going to talk about it.
You guys have seen those enlargement pills online? That's what he got. It's been working, I hear.
Yeah, it has been. Hopefully it continues to work. Anyway, so no, but remind me on that, because there's a big opportunity coming up to practice confidence. So anyway, sorry, continue.
Okay, I have guesses, and I need to just get that out of my head.
It's just a service project at the club.
Oh, never mind. I was getting really excited.
No,
I was like, hand down.
There's a couple, maybe others, but we'll talk about those later if you went that direction. Anyway.
But I think that's all I have. Do you have anything to add?
I just want to say this for me, and if you guys want to celebrate too, that's fantastic, dude. I got the fucking job. It's not 100% yet, but I texted her today, and because you know how I was saying I was gonna try and go in and use her computer with her. She texted me back and she was like, "I leave at 5. Can you be here before then?" And it was like 3:45. And I was paralyzed today. I spent the entire morning on my floor. Like, I basically fell down the stairs this morning at like 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. And so it was a fucking rough morning. My body hurts. My parents got home and nothing was cleaned because I thought they were getting home tomorrow. And then I was paralyzed and I couldn't clean. So as soon as I was done, I had to clean my room. And then we were coming to do this. And I was like, dude, I do not want to fucking do this. Can we just do this tomorrow? But I told her, yeah, let me get ready. And I put clothes on and I went. And the background check is submitted. So the next thing is just their approval. And then if they approve it, I have an orientation date and all sorts of shit. So I got a fucking job.
Let's go.
And I'm so happy about it. And just everything is going really, really well. Like I was talking about last week, like things were turning. Like things have really fucking turned, dude. I'm so happy. And I really am just ready to attack this thing with the strength and determination that I was before.
The full weight of Harry Potter behind you.
Absolutely, brother. I don't know about that one quite yet, but we'll get there too. Anyway, so unless you have anything else to say, I think that's all I got for this week.
No, just that I'm proud of you, brother.
Brother, I love you.
And on that note,
boy.
boy.
That's hot.